This is Rip the Fence.
Call me Big Daddy.
Presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, Brad. Yeah, you damn right I got time out there.
Also brought to you by Hercules Tires.
Welcome to episode 85 of Rip the Fence. We are obviously trying to together figure out how to do a Zoom teleconference, but we are delighted to welcome in to our Zoom teleconference this week, Logan Seavey. What's up, Logan? How are you?
Man, I'm doing all right. We're, making the most of this quarantine deal. I don't know. I didn't really know what to expect, and luckily they've been doing a lot of cool iRacing stuff, and I've been able to fire the iRacing back off. Since I moved to Indiana, I haven't really done much iRacing, but now that I don't really have any other option, this is what it's come down to. But we're making the most of it, and yeah, like I said, they're doing a lot of cool stuff. So it's been fun.
Well, I saw you were in the IndyCar race at Gateway the other night because you blew my doors off, and you're doing the USAC race tomorrow. So you're at least staying involved and staying busy doing some cool stuff like that. So the USAC deal I'm excited about. I think that has some potential to really be a neat thing. Right.
Yeah, I'm excited too. It seems like they got a lot of USAC drivers also involved in it, and I think it's probably the series who has the most real life racers, like actually participating in their event. The Outlaws and those guys got quite a few, but it seems like USAC's got a pretty serious list, and it's actually going to be really tough. They're letting a lot of real iRacers race also, so they're letting a lot of the really good iRacers race. So it's going to make it a little bit tougher, and it's going to make all the USAC guys kind of have to step up, and I think it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to win just because those kids on there are so good and they race so much on the computer. So other than that, yeah, I think it's going to be a cool event. I think the fans at home are going to have fun watching all the USAC regulars kind of race against each other online, and hopefully we can all keep it going in the right direction. Midgets on iRacing are pretty tough.
Is it even close, at all? Is the racing close, comparable? I mean, I know you don't have the seat of the pants feel. I mean, some people have, expensive rigs like Denny Hamlin probably cost more than my house, but how does that stuff work? I mean, is it even comparable?
For iRacing stuff goes, I really, really like the sprint car stuff. The non-wing and midget stuff, I'm not as big of a fan of. I feel like they need a little bit of work, but as far as racing goes, just the way you race and the way the tracks race and stuff like that, I think is all pretty comparable. Like I said, the tracks get slick and you get up to the fence, and you go to Kokomo this week and you're able to kind of run the diamond line and stuff like that. So it all kind of compares. But for me, yeah, as far as midgets go, exactly, I don't feel like the way they drive is that great, but they race pretty good, and that's what's going to be what matters to put on a good show.
How many laps have you put in here this week just to get ready to try and beat the regular guys come Thursday?
Man, I put quite a few in yesterday. I've got some buddies that are really good on the game that help me out quite a bit. And, they made it the fixed setup, which helps the guys out like us who don't have a ton of time to put the setups in or work on the setups to make the cars as fast as possible. With iRacing, you can kind of do some goofy stuff, and sometimes it makes the cars go really fast and you don't really know why. So luckily they have a fixed setup. So we're all on the same, playing field. And, I've put in, like I said, a few laps yesterday, and I'm actually participating in this Outlaw event today with the late model series, surprisingly, of all things. And so I've been practicing for that quite a bit. And then I figure tomorrow or tonight, maybe after the late model deal's over tomorrow morning, and I'll get on there and run a bunch of laps and make sure I'm ready to go for Thursday and hopefully be able to compete with those guys.
Didn't you win the Outlaw Sprint Car race last week?
Yeah. So I won the Outlaw opener at Volusia, which I really wasn't that fast at, actually. I was good early in the day in the feature. I was kind of struggling, and luckily had a late race restart and was able to, clear the guy and go by him for the win. So that was cool. And we ran Charlotte. I got to lead to Charlotte and got in an incident there leading. So that was a bummer. Would have been nice to win both races, since we're not racing in real life. It's tough to make money, but they're paying $1,000 to win each of these races. It makes it a little easier if you can win.
What do you think of this? I mean, obviously the NASCAR sim races and even IndyCar, has been elevated to the level of where it's being aired on national television. The dirt stuff, I mean, apart from the Outlaws, is not there yet. But from an exposure standpoint, do you think that this is as valuable? I mean, not as being at a race in person, but just as in exposing people maybe that aren't familiar with it to this kind of racing.
Yeah, I think it's huge, whether it's real life or, not, the fans are still seeing the same sponsor on the side of your race car. And now I feel like we're even getting it out to more eyes than normal, especially the people that are able to do, like you said, do it on national television, the people that are just sitting at home scrolling through, trying to find something to watch. We're all sitting at home. Boom, it's right there on their TV and it's easy, accessible. The dirt stuff, like we talked about, is not quite as big yet. We're still, I feel like we're still probably reaching the same fan base on Flow and Dirt Vision and that stuff. But like you said, I do think it's almost as valuable. Like I said, the same people are still seeing the same sponsors on the race car, and you win, you put the thing back to your lane, you get the social media posts, all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't think any of us want to see racing on virtually in the future. I think we always want to have it real and whatnot, but for now, I think this is as good as we're going to get until we can get out and really race.
If you're listening on the podcast, obviously we're chatting to Logan Seavey, who sits 5th in points with the USAC National Sprint Car Series. Your first go with Reinbold this year in the Sprint Car Series. Obviously, you've only raced in Ocala. How's it gone so far, and are you excited to get back in the seat?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Ocala went fairly well. For me, not really racing sprint cars as much as I'd like to, and new car team basically with Rizzy and Connor. Rizzy is basically come into a new team. Obviously, it's still a spike, but it's a little bit different style of a spike. So Rizzy was still trying to figure that out. And like I said, we were all just trying to learn each other, and got one night rained out, which is not good when we're still trying to all learn and get our bearings together. And but I think overall, Ocala went really well. I think the first night we struggled a little bit, but the second night we came out and, we had speed to, I don't know if anybody is quite as good as Brady there, but I think we had speed to at least run second. I think overall we were all pretty happy. So definitely excited to get back when we can get racing. Like I said, it's with us all being fresh and new, we're all still trying to learn the race car, and I'm still trying to figure out how to drive the sprint cars. So the more racing we can do, the better. So this is probably worst case scenario for me personally. I probably need the longest season as we can get, yeah, like I said, I'm just excited to get back, and we've obviously had a little bit of success in the past with Andy, winning SmackDown last year and winning a few races out west. So we're just having fun. Me and Andy always have fun racing, and it's cool to have Rizzy and Connor back together, and being able to keep Connor on my team. It's a valuable asset.
Yeah, you worked with Connor at Keith Coons, but Rizzy's kind of Rizzy's a little mysterious. He's a unique cat. What has it been like getting to work with him? I know you know him, but before this, but what's it been like getting to work with him in a driver crew chief relationship?
Yeah, it's definitely different than the relationship I had with Keith and Al, and then with Connor there at the end of my run with Keith. And yeah, like you said, definitely mysterious. He's got a I'm sure anybody watching has heard him on the Rip Defense podcast, and you never really know what's going to come out of his mouth. And he was actually here for lunch, and I was hoping he left about 10 minutes before we got this call. I was hoping he'd be here so I could, get him to say something goofy here on the podcast for the fans. But yeah, like you said, it's definitely a different relationship, but it's one that it's been fairly easy so far working with him. We talk communications well, and it's just something that I think is only going to get better.
How stir crazy is he going right now, just working on the cars and not going racing?
Yeah, I think for both of them, it's a huge change. They come from a team, Connor comes from a team we ran, 5-6 midgets every night. And then, Rizzy came from working on sprint cars and midgets, and, having a lot to do all the time. And then now they get down to one sprint car, and they're building a midget now. So even then, 2 cars to work on for them is far less than what they're used to. And then now just to have nothing to do really. Luckily, like you said, we've got 2 midgets now, so they've been having a little bit to do to build those things. But right now parts are coming in slow, and really not in a hurry now that all the races have kind of been canceled. We're kind of taking our time. So yeah, like I said, he came over for lunch, and they were just kind of sitting around waiting on a package to get here. So I think they're doing a lot of sitting and waiting around. So definitely not enough to do for them. So they're going a little crazy, but like I said, we're just trying to have fun and make the most of this all downtime and be ready to go when we are able to.
We both have, jobs in racing, obviously, so we're on as much of a hold as anybody. But for you guys, for the dirt racers that, that for the most part aren't salary paid, that when you go to the racetrack and, you earn money, that's your livelihood for all intents and purposes. How stressful or tough has this been, one, just not racing very much, but two, kind of looking ahead to the schedule and not really knowing when we're going to go back to racing?
Yeah, it's definitely kind of scary for a lot of racers to kind of and people just people in general to kind of realize that there's anything can happen, and really especially in racing there's not a whole lot of job security. Something goes wrong like this and we're all sitting here not making money, and it just kind of reality hits, and it's like, man, this is this is real, but this is what we all signed up for, and you can really lose your ride at any point. So this is really no different than, something like that. So you just kind of put yourself in a position financially where you're able to, have a few months off and not, not run out of money or whatever it may be. So, I've just been lucky enough to have people teach me, about money and saving money and stuff like that, because, you definitely always, like I said, this is definitely not a very good job security or sport for job security. So I've been trying to stay on top of it just in case, anything were to happen. And luckily we're in a situation, or unfortunately we're in a situation where I had to use it, but luckily I had it there for a rough time. This is where we're at right now. So I think, like I said earlier, I was able to make a little bit of money iRacing, which helps. And actually been offered a job from a company called Racecraft One, who does simulation instruction. So I've been doing a little bit of that, which helps. And there's other ways for racers to make money, and you just gotta kind of go out and look for it.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you got $1,000 for the World of Outlaws. Are you planning on racing with? Obviously, we're recording this April 1st. Tonight they're racing on Fox, right? Are you going to be in that race?
Yes. I'm actually going to be in the late model portion. So they did the two sprint car races, and then we did a late model race on Monday. And kind of crazy, I had no plans on racing late models. I had never ran a late model on there since I moved to Indy, I don't think. So it's been like 3 or 4 years since I'd even ran a late model on iRacing. And Monday morning, I woke up to a phone call from Casey Schumann with World of Outlaws, and then I got a call from Mark Richards, who owns Rocket Chassis, to drive his car in the World of Outlaws race because he didn't feel like Brandon Shepard had enough practice to be able to win the race. So he basically fired Brandon Shepard for sim racing, hired me, the Outlaws let it happen, and now I'm in the Rocket Chassis house car for the World of Outlaw late model deal. So now I get a race on TV, so it's pretty cool that Mark is letting me do this and race for a little bit of money too. Like I said, any money right now is helpful. Any money ever is helpful, but especially in a time like this where racers aren't making money, it's got to jump on opportunities to make it.
Man, you put Shep out of a ride. How about that?
Yeah, social media went a little. I got quite a few messages on social media about that, but obviously it's a little odd, but one of the best late model races in the world gets fired on iRacing, so it's kind of odd, but hopefully, at some point I'd love to run a late model in real life. I don't think this has anything to do with that, but definitely would like to jump in a late model at some point in the race.
So what's your rig look like? Do you got like an expensive one like Denny Hamlin that costs?
No, so I'm actually sitting in my lawn chair right now that I used to race.
Let's see it.
Let me see. How do I turn this thing around? I got it. It's at the top left.
Oh.
There we are.
So that's the winning rig right there.
You were in a lawn. Do you say you were in a lawn chair?
Yeah. So when I moved to Indy, when I was living in California, I was on my computer way too much. So when I moved to Indy, I brought all my stuff, but I never bought a chair because I knew if I got a chair, I would never leave. So I bought a chair so I wouldn't play on my computer all the time. And it worked for a long time. And now that now that we're stuck inside, I still don't have a chair. So I'm sitting in this lawn chair and my back hurts at the end of the day. Hopefully when it's all over, I can put the chair back away and not sit at my computer for a long time.
That's
so
awesome.
how'd you win the sprint car race and then you're not racing in the sprint car race?
So I never really got official word, but I think what they're saying is they don't want. I don't know. It sounds like they're just saying that they were.
They don't want you stinking up the show.
They were worried that I would drive away from them, which I don't think I would, because like I said, at Volusia I barely won, and then at Charlotte I drove to the lead, but then the guy behind me was like 0.3 of a lap faster, and then like I said, he was going to pass me either way, but we ended up with contact and I crashed. But basically, yeah. Can you guys still see me?
I see your car.
Okay, well, 1 sec. I was getting a phone call from Tanner. I'll call him back after, but hopefully he doesn't listen to this. Dude, I forgot what we were saying now.
Something about the sprint car race and how.
Yeah, Charlotte. Like I said, I wasn't near as good as some of them guys. So, but yeah, I think what they said was that I just, I don't know. I guess they thought I was going to be too fast, but it is what it is. So, I get it. I mean, if I feel like the fans at home should be watching as many of the real Outlaws as they can, just like the NASCAR guys are doing. They're locking in all the real racers as they can, and then bringing a couple of other guys. So, yeah, it's no big deal for me. I obviously would have liked to do it, but as a fan, I want to see as many Outlaw guys in it as well. So, if we can see all the Outlaw guys put on a good show, that's all that matters.
I've seen Bloomquist putting in a lot of laps on social media. Are you excited to race with the legend Scott Bloomquist tonight?
Yeah, so the guy that's been helping me out in the late model stuff, like I said, I hadn't ran a lap in a long time, and those cars are a lot different than the sprint cars. So the guy that's been helping me out was actually helping Scott out too. So we've been in a lot of the same practice sessions, and he is surprisingly really fast. And I don't know if that's surprising or not. Obviously, he's a really good racer in real life, but to jump on a sim and do it as well is not easy. And he, within a few days, he's up to speed. And I think he made the show the other night, and he was running pretty good. So, yeah, he's actually pretty solid. It's impressive to watch. And a lot of the older guys don't really accept, sim racing into their world of real racing, but Scott's been able to do it, and he, like I said, he picked up on it fast, and it's pretty cool just to, race against a guy like Scott.
Yeah, those late models on the sim they are weird. Like, they're hard to drive.
They are extremely hard. Yeah, like I said, they're a lot different than the sprint car. It's weird. All the sprint car guys think the late models are hard, and all the late model guys think the sprint cars are hard. And I get in the late model, and I was out to lunch the first couple hours of trying to drive the thing, and luckily I got some help, and Mark Richards at Rocket Chassis hooked me up with a couple of guys that are really good on there, and they got me dialed in and kind of taught me how to drive them. And they kind of like to own, if you get them too sideways, they lose all your grip, and if you drive them too straight, you push. So it's, they're really, really touchy race cars, but once you figure them out and figure out how to go fast at them, they're a lot of fun.
Sir, are you aware you were going 40 miles an hour? This is a residential area.
Sure, but I'm on my lawnmower? Wait, am I getting a ticket?
No, I've just never seen anyone top 9 miles an hour on one of those bad boys. And mow their entire lawn in 30 seconds? What got into you?
Well, it did fuel up at Sunoco this morning.
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. We've been doing it for American racing for over 50 years. Fuel your best.
So I've always wanted to ask you, a couple years ago at the Chili Bowl, you held the sign up that said no three-peat. And then C. Bell ended up going out there and kicking all your asses. Do you regret that?
No, not at all. Not at all. Never. I think if I was on the pole the year later, I'd have took the same sign and scratched the 3 out and put a 4 on it. But no, I mean, I think for me that was more just for fun, get the crowd into it. I feel like we got to get more exciting driver intros. I think the atmosphere itself at Chili Bowl is enough, but if we can show a little bit more driver personality, that'd be, it'd make it even better. So, you go to the Gateway at St. Louis, and a lot more of the drivers get into it there. I think after the first year, all of us midget guys got kind of showed up, and we kind of came back and this year and got a lot better. But yeah, we just got to have a little bit more fun at driver intros. And that was a way for me to kind of have fun. And, you know, I got a lot of people talking about it. And, you know, that's just what matters to me is getting a lot, you know, people talking about it, people on social media, people there at the races coming up after laughing about it. It'd been great to win, obviously, but I wasn't quite good enough to run with them guys last year. So hopefully at one point we could win that race. And obviously everybody wants to win that one.
I totally agree with you. I think we need to have more fun. And I feel like sometimes modified and late model guys think that, you know, us sprint car and midget guys are just like stuck up princesses or something. Don't you feel that way?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, they're definitely a little on the ragged edge and yeah, they're a different breed for sure. But yeah, the races like that, the gateway race and stuff like that's a lot of fun. We all get to come together and, you know, race at the same place and hang out in the pits and go out after the races and, you know, hang out with late model people and late model people hang out with sprint car guys and kind of just kills that barrier a little bit. Like you said, I think there's, in the past at least, always been a pretty harsh edge between, you know, you're either a sprint car guy or a late model guy and there's no in between. But I'm definitely a fan of both. And obviously I race sprint cars, but like I said earlier, I'd love to at least get into late model and try to drive one, maybe try to race one too. So at some point that'd be fun. But yeah, I think they just do a lot better job at showing their personalities. And I think that's why, you know, the fans love it. And they definitely have a little bit larger fan base. So we got to, on the open wheel side, we got to figure out how to get that better and, you know, get more fans to our races.
No doubt. Well, Dillon, are you racing in the midget race with him or no? Did you not get invited?
I think I'm announcing.
You're announcing it?
I'm
You're
supposed
the
to be
track record holder at Kokomo?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be announcing it.
They didn't ask you to come
we'll
back,
see.
Ty, for a throwback?
They don't ask
Nobody,
you.
I had to ask to announce it.
Wow.
I'm washed up. I'm
Track
old
record
news,
holder.
So yeah, I'm old news now. So I had to ask Fridge myself if I could announce it. So I'm not very good in the midget. I would have been in the way, so I didn't want to go out there and embarrass myself.
They're hard, man.
I'm probably better than him in a midget on the iRacing deal.
You honestly
Oh, yeah.
might be. I'm really not very good.
Yeah. I used to race a lot online with our factor. We raced together, but I just think iRacing thing is just so expensive. Like I can't afford it.
I like R Factor midgets better than iRacing midgets right now. iRacing might get mad at me for saying that, but we tried to help them out when we were making them, but you know, we could just never quite get them to drive like the R Factor stuff. And we even tried to give them the R Factor midgets and be like, you know, drive these and try to get them closer to this. And we just never quite got them where you know, the R Factor stuff was. I feel like on iRacing you run the cars really, really sideways, and that's hard to do on a sim because you can't see out the right side.
Yeah.
Which even in real life you don't run a midget that sideways. So like I said, I just feel like they're, you know, lateral grip or whatever, something's off, and you just have to run the cars so sideways, and then you spin out all the time and you're doing wheelies all over the place and stuff like that. So they're just hard to drive. But I do think when you get a bunch of guys together that know how to drive them, they put on a really good show. So hopefully everybody's been practicing and we don't go out and look like a bunch of idiots tomorrow.
Well, obviously racing has been postponed for April, but are there a sprint car track this year that you're excited to go to for the first time?
So I kind of fell in love with Eldora last year, and I'm really excited to get to go there in a sprint car. And like I was talking to you earlier, I think we got our crown deal put together. I'm hoping this whole coronavirus deal doesn't hurt our chances of, you know, making sure we can go to all those races. But, you know, still trying to finalize everything with that. So, yeah, I really wanted to run a sprint car at Eldora. Like I said, I loved running the midgets there. Other than that, there's a few cool sprint car tracks. Never been to Terre Haute yet. Excited to go to Terre Haute. Yeah, there's other than that. I mean, PA tracks. I don't know how I feel about PA tracks. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan, at least in the midget. Hopefully we go better in the sprint car and I can enjoy those racetracks a little bit better. But yeah, we weren't very good there in the midget. So yeah, outside of that, I don't know. I've been ran the sprint car at Paris already. That's a cool place. I don't know. What's the cool tracks of the USAC schedule?
So your SilverCon deal, you won't be able to race a pavement midget with Dillon and Kevin Studley. They're going to be the only two racing in IRP then on the night before the 500.
Yeah. I saw that announcement, and that was a pretty cool deal. So hopefully they get some cars to show up for that, and hopefully it's a good race. And, I think everybody loved pavement midgets. They just weren't very economically friendly sport. So, I don't think anything.
No one misses them.
Economically friendly.
Well, that's what I started in. So I was like just getting good when they went away. So I'm pumped.
Yeah,
So we'll
those things are super cool, and they race really good. And I think I feel like every time I got to where I was like, getting new opportunities to do new things, it seems like all the cool stuff is just going away. As soon as I got to run, midgets with USAC, we lose Belleville. Just like every time it seemed like we lost a lot of big midget races actually in the last couple of years. And, we lost Gold Crown, Belleville, Hut 100. It seems like all the cool races kind of went away, but finally we're bringing some cool ones back, with the Hangtown 100 and the BC 39. And we're getting a lot more big midget races again. So that's what we need to, like we said, grow the sport.
So so people don't know this that are listening or watching this. You are a big karaoke fan. And Lenny's, we all three get together and sing some songs. But what's your go-to karaoke song? Like, what starts off the night for you?
Man, I got a few. Where'd my trophy go? Oh, right here.
Oh.
So that one was That Summer, Garth Brooks. That one won the SmackDown crowd over. About a year ago, I feel like my go-to was Jack and Diane. I like Mellencamp a lot. Big John Mellencamp fan. So those are probably my two go-tos. I'm already doing some research on my 2020 SmackDown song, so hopefully come out and defend that championship, go back-to-back.
Yes, SmackDown Karaoke Championship is almost as important as winning the actual SmackDown race. It's a big deal.
Right, it's a big confidence booster. I went out the next day, and then we won the race the next day too. So they're trying to, say there's some connection there, but I don't know. We'll have to see in 2020.
Is there correlation?
Do it again. Yeah, just have to do it again and validate your research here.
Right, exactly. So we've been studying hard to make sure we get the right song, for the Kokomo crowd, and hopefully win that one too.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Logan. Take it easy on those late model guys and sim, and go win some more money. Go win some more money on iRacing.
Yeah, that's the plan. Thanks for having me on, guys. It was fun.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Logan.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTire.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Thanks, everyone who tuned in for this. It was fun to have Logan Seavey on. I do need to mention that pristineauction.com still has our code RIP, R-I-P, like rest in peace Dillon Welch. R-I-P. You can go to pristineauction.com, get 10 free dollars. You got nothing else to do right now. Why not go get 10 free dollars, Dillon, and buy something on there?
I know. There's some really cool stuff on there. I went on there and looked myself, and there actually is some cool stuff on there, so you weren't lying.
Yeah, I haven't been lying this whole time. That's good to know that you actually checked it out. That's good. We are presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts and also brought to you by Hercules Tires. I'm only saying that because I'm not sure if we're going to be able to add in post whatever we're going to need to add in. Hat shakes. Yours is obviously going to the Lucas Oil Raceway Park. Is that right?
Yeah, gotta be for bringing back pavement midgets.
Dillon Welch, Kevin Studley, and a cast of a few others will be racing on the night before the 500. I saw Studley's tweet that said, this tweet just cost me $20,000.
Yep, me, Stud, and Mario Klauser will probably be the only three cars there, but it'll be a hell of a race.
Oh, man. So you'll be announcing the iRacing midget race then? Yes,
myself and Chase Rodman tomorrow will be the announcers. So I need to do some research on all these iRacing studs that Seavey was talking about, because they'll probably beat all the USAC guys, but I don't know who any of them are.
Wow. So you can check that out on flowracing.com, where there has been a 24/7 stream of Manzanita races, old SilverCon races, everything you can check out on flowracing.com. D. Welch, you moved into your new place. It looks like you've arrived there. That's good.
Yeah. Yes, I have arrived. Stand by. So here's the old truck. Here's the house, and we're trying to move stuff in as we speak here. So it's been a process for the last couple of days, and we're still not done. So
was that a Michael Jordan poster?
No, that was a Billy Butts, Rick Majerus, Ball State Cardinals poster.
Oh gosh.
Let's see. Where's my other posters? Here's Coach Knight, 1976.
Bobby.
Hannah has banished these posters to the garage. She says I can't hang them up in the house anymore because she gets to decorate. So those posters are gonna have to be hung up in the garage somewhere.
Old Bobby Knight throwing chairs at people.
Yep.
Well, thanks for calling in and talking to Seavey. This has been episode 85. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Maybe we should do it again next week. I think we figured out this old Zoom thing. Don't you think?
This was fun. Let's do it.
All right, let's do another one next week. We'll see who we talk to. Thanks for watching, listening. We'll talk to you later, y'all. Peace.